Hello, today we're gonna talk about foreign and the domestic state of Kazakh Khanate. In this video, the following questions will be disclosed. What foreign state treats were there to the Kazakh Khanate? How domestic states has changed in Kazakhstan? What were the chronological changes in Kazakhstan? So, in the late 16th and the early 17th centuries, Russia began to show particular interest in the Kazakh lands. The reason is quite simple, because very important trade routes passed through the Kazakh lands that led to centers of this very trade. These were the Khiva Khanate and the Bukharia Emirates. The Moscow government wanting to master the Urals and at the same time maintain safe relations with neighbors, began to build fortresses on the border with Kazakh lands in order to regulate the movement of various merchants of embassies and to protect some specific objects, such as cities or strategic and military important roads. During this period in 1585, the large town of Obsky on the right bank of the Ob River began to build. 1586 Tyumen, 1587 Tobolsk, 1594 Tara, 1604 Tomsk. Construction nearby replacement of strongholds in the Upper Irtysh Imashevsk 1716, Omsk 1716, Zelensky 1717, Semipalatinsk 1718, Pavlodar, Uсть-Каменогорsk 1720, preparing the ground for military and political penetration deep into the Kazakh lands. Russia began its colonization policy at the same time Kazakhstan Hansa was ruled by Taghi Khan. At the same time, the Kazakhs continued to wage cruel warriors with Jungars, so Taghi Khan decided that it will be more rational and safe not to take any action against Russia, because there is a high risk of unleashing another war with Russia, and then you will have to wage a war on two fronts, with Jungars and Russia.
Therefore, he decided to choose a rather peaceful policy. He also tried to establish friendly relations with neighbors, including from Russia itself. For this reason, he sent 5 ambitious there, but which were unsuccessful due to the constant rise of the Jungars, because they interfered with free communication. Taghi Khan was able to provide a orderly response to the Jungars. However, unfortunately, in 1718, but sometimes they write in 1715, he died Khyb Khan, who ascended the throne after that. He did not have a sufficient experience, and therefore he could not maintain the unity of the Kazakh Khanate. The situation in the state was quite tense. In the Kazakh Khanate was 3 Jews, and the problem is the 3 Jews became more and more isolated. Therefore, the unity of the Kazakh Khanate was undestroyed. The junior Jews was headed by Abul Khair, the middle Simike and Kushuk, the senior Julbars at the head of the Kazakh against the Jungarian conquerors, became Abul Khair. From 1710 to 1748 he sat on the throne of the junior Jews. His main goal was to restore the former power of the unity of the Kazakh Khanate. So he recognized the power of the elder Khyb Khan as the heir to Taghi Khan, and soon he was proclaimed Khan of the younger Jews. Russia began to pursue an active colonial policy in the 17th century. In these regions, in 1708, the Yefimsky district was subordinated to the Kazakh Khanate.
The territorial rapprochement of the Kazakhs and Bashkirs was facilitated by the defeat of the Bashkirs from the Kazakh Khan Yesim on the banks of Tabula in the 20th or the 17th century, as well as 300,000 Kalmyks who settled on the banks of the Yedila and Yaik rivers. They began to push Kazakhs to the north. Marriages were concluded between the Bashkirs and Kazakhs. They used the same pastures and held festivities, so they were culturally and ethnically closer. But the expulsion of the Bashkirs from their pastures by the Russian authorities and forced Christianization complicated the internal situation in Bashkiria. So these events in 1704 to 1711 prompted them to oppose the Russian population. Excessive deepening of the Bashkirs in the pastures of the junior Jews forced the Kazakh Khan Abul Khair to stop their further advance. Therefore, in 1715, Abulkhair Khan undertook a campaign against the Kalmyk region on the banks of the Cheremshan River. The Bashkirs, in turn, responded to this with invasions of the Kazakh nomad camps of the younger Jews. Abulkhair Khan then, in the winter of the 17 and 17, organized military campaigns against the Bashkir camps of the Kazakh district, and this situation began to repeat themselves very often. Therefore, in October 1713, Abulkhair sent an embassy to St. Petersburg.